Okay, my theory is John Holland's. He's my theorist. This is my box, and this is a picture of him. He actually just recently died in November 27th of 2008. And he was born in October 21st, 1919. So John Holland, some of his background information was his father was an English immigrant and his mom was an elementary education teacher. And he was a sibling of 4, so he had 3 other siblings. John Holland went to the University of Nebraska in 1942 and got his BA in psychology. And then he joined the Army and was a part of World War II. He left the Army and then pursued his passion for psychology sciences at the University of Minnesota. He worked at Hopkins University in the following years at 1969, and he published his most important works while working at Hopkins. And then he was awarded the APA, which is the Scientific Award for Applicants of Psychology. So John had one major theory, and they're actually known as codes. The Holland Code was his most famous one, you could say. And basically it is boiled down into the term RAIC or SEC theory. So that stands for realistic, investigative, artistic, social, entrepreneurship, and conventional. So his whole theory was that when a child is younger, they will display more personality traits through one of these personality traits, and that'll show what job they might go into when they're older. So for example, for realistic, if you would ask your child a true or false question, and if they answered true, that means that that's something that their personality would fall into. So for example, if I asked a car, do you like to work on cars, and they said true, you would mark that down as your child might be into jobs such as maybe a mechanic or something else, maybe like a realtor or a car dealership person. You could also ask them for a realistic question if they like to cook. If children like to cook, that means that they're going to have a job where they're really hands-on doing the job. Next we have investigative. So investigative is under sciences and analyzing things. So I could ask a child, do you like science classes? And if they said, yes, I like science, then that would probably mean that that child is more into investigative work. You could also ask them if they like to do puzzles or things where it's more using your mind rather than physical labor. For artistic, you could ask your child if they are creative or if they like to draw. So if you have a child that's drawing a lot or doing a lot of creative projects, like this one, you could have, this is something that a little kid drew. This is a sign that your child is more of an artistic kid and they might choose to do an artistic career someday. For social, these are jobs or personality traits that maybe they like helping someone or solving problems for someone, like listening. So a lot of this is being a social worker and trying to help kids with their problems. Also, it could be being a nurse or helping someone physically. So this is more for those who are really conscious about the people around them. For E, we have enterprising. So like creating their own business. So you could ask your kid if they like to give speeches. These children are usually more outgoing and they're more like taking action and being a leader. So creating your own business could be one thing. And lastly, we have conventional. So conventional is, are they practical and are they really paying attention to detail? So if you have a child that pays super close attention to detail and always gets things right on, your child is most likely a conventional child. So maybe they like to organize things, or they really like to listen to directions when you tell them to, and they get everything pretty much right. This is a little chart. My box wasn't big enough to fit it on, but it just has the 6 personality traits. So again, they're realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. And it just kind of breaks down, the different characteristic traits someone could have with this. So. And lastly, in 1959, John came up with the theories of vocalizing personalities and work environments. I truly believe that this theory is one that works really well. I think that children definitely mirror and show you what sort of personality they have at a young age. And so I think I agree with this theory. And then according to this theory, you should be able to find a career within one of these 6 categories. Sometimes kids might even have more than one. You know, you could have a child that's into both investigative and social helps. So maybe they could be something with both of those. So some of the career options that I named earlier were like being a cook or a mechanic, maybe even a food salesperson. That's kind of both of social and enterprising, and even a little bit of conventional. You could also have a party planner, and you could be a writer. So yeah.